Pleiadian Perspective Book 4 Returning to Gaia Part 2 by Suzanne Lee Ph.D. December 13, 2013. Integrating the Arcturian. Maitreya speaks.
We were still in a deep trance when the intergalactic team concluded their message. We were ready to return to the Lemurian inner world when the Arcturian came into our awareness. It was as though the members of the intergalactic group mind expected the Arcturian to join us, as they seemed to move their consciousness away to highlight the Arcturian's communication.
Dear Maitreyan,
spoke the Arcturian,
before you return to Lemuria, we wish you to align more intimately with us so that you can more completely remember how we calibrated the planetary crystal of your Pleiadian planet. You have entered a deep state of unity with the Maitreya component of yourself. Hence, you are now ready to fully embrace the Arcturian component of your multidimensional self. With your full alignment with your Pleiadian and Arcturian expressions, you will be prepared for your most difficult alignment, which will be with your human expressions. As you are well aware, it has been your third and fourth dimensional consciousness that has created the greatest confusion regarding your multidimensional nature. However, we will prepare you for that integration before you return to Earth. Since we Arcturians are beings without any need for dense form, we can easily slip into any dimensional vessel that is able to contain our energy without damage to their form. That damage only occurs if the holder of the form falls into the low state of consciousness known as fear. You have conquered most of your fearful thinking and reactions. Thus you are ready to fully experience your Arcturian expression of self. Conversely, your physical expressions of Jason and Sandy are having a difficult time with the many challenges of their changing third and fourth dimensional reality. As you can well imagine, this deeper merging of your higher Arcturian resonance will begin a great transmutation of your etheric vessel, as well as Jason and Sandy's physical vessels. Be not concerned though, for all your expressions of form will slowly and safely transmute a higher frequency of resonance. Also, all your expressions of self will gradually become more and more aware of your Arcturian abilities.
The Arcturian then slipped into our form, and we instantly felt our inner Arcturian nature begin to expand. We had not yet been able to fully embrace our Arcturian self as being within us. Instead, we often experienced that component of ourself as being above us. We then heard our inner Arcturian saying,
because you will be working with Gaia to accelerate the frequency of her planet, you will maintain a physical component of your form. Now, allow your mind to settle into the feeling of expanding into a higher frequency of consciousness. Feel a wavering sensation around and within you as your Kundalini moves both up and down within the same now. Your Kundalini force is your innate light body, which is housed within the spinal column of your physical expressions and the core of your astral body. Your collective self of Maitreyan is wearing a light body, but your physical expressions are still wearing their earthen vessels. As you assist your physical vessel to return to light body, you also assist Gaia to return to her light body.
We are happy that you brought up the issue of our body. We have been a bit overwhelmed by our many different states of consciousness, especially since each of these expressions have a different form. It appears to us that whenever a certain version of ourself is highlighted in our consciousness, our form changes. For example, when we first went to New Earth, the entire reality was blurred, wavering, and ever-changing, just like our form. Then, when we were in Lemuria, we appeared to wear a form, which was much like the Lemurians, but not as tall. While with Maitreya and Maitreya our form appeared to be similar to the other Pleiadians, but when we are with you, our form resembles your Arcturian form, in that it is wavering light. Is that our light body? We asked.
Yes, that is correct. We represent your Arcturian form of 8th through 10th dimensional light body. Maitreya and Maitreya represent your 5th dimensional light body, and Sandy and Jason still hold a 3rd dimensional physical form. You will visit them on the timeline of emerging New Earth.
Answered the Arcturian. Were we on a different timeline when we visited New Earth before? We asked. Actually, the Arcturian answered.
You visited several timelines when you last visited Earth. First, you were on the timeline of the transition from the 3rd-4th dimensional Earth into 5th dimensional New Earth. Please remember that all the timelines of Earth occur simultaneously within the now of the One. Sequential events only occur in third-fourth dimensional realities, but all events occur simultaneously within the now of the fifth dimension and beyond. We see that you are confused by our statement.
Continued the Arcturian.
Because you are operating with your third-dimensional thinking of Sandy and Jason. As you have recognized, the low frequency of the physical realities can easily lower your consciousness to trap you in third-dimensional thinking. This power of the lower frequencies has been a challenge for all of our galactic emissaries who have taken on physical forms. It is for this reason that we now have our galactic advisors to Earth overlight their physical expression of self rather than actually inhabit their human forms. As you have noticed, the state of your consciousness influences your perceptions. Hence, via your third-dimensional consciousness you perceive the third-dimensional physical world. Via your fourth-dimensional consciousness you perceive your fourth-dimensional astral and dream world. Via your fifth-dimensional consciousness you perceive your own and other light bodies on fifth-dimensional New Earth. Via your sixth-dimensional consciousness you perceive the light matrices for reality and the light beings who regulate and maintain them. Via your seventh-dimensional consciousness you perceive yourself as an oversoul. Via the eighth-dimensional consciousness you perceive yourself as a planetary logos. Via your 9th through 11th dimensional consciousness you perceive yourself as solar and stellar Elohim. Via your 12th dimensional and beyond states of consciousness you perceive yourself as Source. Once you have fully integrated our Arcturian energies into your consciousness, and hence your multidimensional form, you will be able to gradually expand your knowing from your 7th dimensional oversoul self into your 8th dimensional planetary logos self.
We are becoming a planetary logos. We asked with great surprise.
Why do you think that your expressions of self have become so attached to Earth? Also, it is not just you who will become the planetary logos, it is every one of Gaia's beings that can expand their consciousness into that frequency. Remember that all dimensions beyond the fourth are based on unity with all life. However, first you must fully incorporate your Arcturian resonance, as well as your physical resonance, into one multidimensional being.
What about our 6th and 7th dimensional expressions? We asked.
Within the now, all will be revealed.
Replied the Arcturian as it began to guide us to more deeply integrate our Arcturian expression.
Relax your thinking and focus on the feeling of love as you move into the now of the One. Feel the deep, unconditional love as you allow us, your Arcturian resonance, to intermingle with your Pleiadian resonance. Arcturians and Pleiadians have worked together since the early days of Earth. Now, feel your Arcturian Pleiadian move into your third-dimensional consciousness. Allow the Kundalini force of your light body to travel both up and down within the same now. Since this force resonates beyond time, it is free of the physical laws of space-time. Please sit straight up to allow the full movement of your core, as the up-down sensation creates an undulation of your core. This undulation actually moves your personal and Gaia's planetary Kundalini up and simultaneously down through your personal and planetary cores. As this undulation of energy increases, allow your breath to become louder, and breathe with greater intention. Feel the release of each out-breath, as it pulls the Kundalini into a faster and faster flow. As you share this flow with Gaia, allow the myriad physical lives that you have experienced on Earth to flow through your awareness. Remember your physical form and feel how the Kundalini is moving back and forth up your spine. Relax deeply as you feel the Kundalini move up and down between your shoulders, throat, and head. As you move your shoulders, feel your entire body readjust its alignment. You may also feel a need to twist to the right and to the left almost as if to squeeze out old toxins from your spinal column. Pictures of other incarnations flash through your mind, as you unconditionally love each memory. Unconditionally forgive yourself, as well as anyone who has harmed you in any of your many incarnations. In this manner you can release all attachment to any manner in which you were ever wounded by any person, place, situation, or thing. With this release, you remember how your higher dimensional self chose all these situations before you took each incarnation. Sit calmly within the now as you remember the lessons learned and the wisdom gained. Thank the 3D game for giving you a chance to experience life in a polarized reality. Remember the love and release the fear. Embrace the calm understanding of all you have experienced and know that every event was a component of what you needed to feel in order to come into this now.
At this moment our form began to morph and glow. Since we felt no sense of mass to contain our great light, we began to float about our small cabin, through the door, and into the area outside of our room. However, instead of floating along the corridor, we floated through the roof and into another area of the mothership that appeared to be of a higher resonance.
Yes,
Replied our inner Arcturian.
you are in the sixth dimension of the mothership. Your form is now resonating to the frequency of the sixth dimension.
We remembered how overcome Mitre had felt when he first experienced this frequency of the mothership. However, now it was different, because we simultaneously perceived this sixth dimensional area from the perspective of the Arcturian. Whereas Mitre was a bit dazed by the alive flashes of light, we easily understood how the movement of the light beings constantly updated and maintained the matrix. Through our Arcturian perception we could read and understand every light code within the same now. We then easily flowed into the seventh dimensional oversoul of the mothership, which was Arcturian in nature. We felt as though it was feminine in that she served as the mother of the mothership. The oversoul embraced us like an infant, and we slipped into a deep trance. Suddenly, we were in the 8th through 10th dimensions of the mothership. This frequency of the ship was primarily the quarters of the Arcturians. It was also the quarters of visiting planetary logos and solar or stellar Elohim. These majestic beings of light and sound welcomed us by encompassing us with their unconditional love. They also congratulated us on our ability to expand our consciousness into this frequency. For a cosmic eye blink we felt a bit of ego, and instantly fell back down through a void, or was it a corridor? As light as a feather falling to the ground, we landed on our bunk back inside our cabin. We were alone, yet simultaneously connected with all that is.